Alright, so today we're gonna grade some World Cup shirts, and I know what you're saying. Maxwell, don't you remember the last time you graded some World Cup shirts? Don't you remember how miserable you were? You see, this is literally killing me. But trust me when I tell you that this year's Women's World Cup shirts are actually quite good. I've only seen a couple of them, and I think it's only fair that since we did the Men's World Cup, we did the Women's World Cup as well, especially since these shirts are significantly better. Roll the title card.
So I recorded this sometime in mid-May, and things have definitely changed for a couple teams. So just expect a few little fixes here or there throughout the video, but it shouldn't be too bad.
So the Women's World Cup, which starts in July, will be located in New Zealand and Australia. Plenty of exciting things to see, including Vietnam, who qualified this year. You can say all you want about, oh, the US is going to destroy them, oh, the Dutch will destroy them, they're literally the two top teams. I don't care. We're going to beat both of them. So we'll start off with Group A, one of our hosts, New Zealand. And the home shirt has the feather pattern that you would expect from a New Zealand shirt. Looks clean. The pattern looks like something that I'd see in like a mall that has like a beach theme. Not saying that's a bad thing or anything, that's just my observation. Either way, I think it's a very solid shirt to start off this video. New Zealand is not as good as the home shirt, but I still think it's pretty solid. I do like the colors. I also like the additions of the feathers on the trim of the sleeves. Honestly, I'm not even really sure why they went for the blue color, but it does work. So next we have Norway. You know, Nike really gave me some hope with those New Zealand shirts, and now we're back to square one again. The away shirt, pretty much the same thing. Basic, nothing going on, uninspiring. Next we have one of our Southeast Asian sisters, the Philippines. And they recently signed a deal with Adidas.
So thank God the Philippines actually changed their shirts, because I was really not looking forward to our Southeast Asian sisters wearing these two things. That being said, while it is an improvement, they both really aren't that great.
It's kind of sad because while that's going to be the designs for the women's shirts, the men's designs, oh my god, they're beautiful. Look at this shirt. It's magnificent.
Switzerland changed their home after this video was recorded. This shirt, I'd say, is an improvement from last year. You got these pinstripes on the shirt, and then also in the background is this subtle mountain pattern. And I mean, it's not Switzerland if it doesn't have mountains, right? I don't think it's the most impressive display of mountains on a Swiss shirt, because we saw that back in 2020, but this is still pretty solid.
Supposedly Switzerland's away shirt, you guessed it, it's that f***ing My Name Is shirt. Australia's home shirt has a pretty unique pattern, also has some history behind it. This marble pattern that you see on the shirt is basically representing the country's iconic outback and beaches. Add on top of the green touches here or there on the sides, the collar a little bit on the sleeves. Honestly, in terms of Australia, they either kind of go a little too little on the shirts or a little too much. And I feel like this is a pretty good balance of both. Now, the away shirt. I don't really have anything else to say. I guess one thing that I never really mentioned in the Men's World Cup video was the fact that I hate this Nike template with a goddamn passion. It's so dumb to me. Like, why do you have these stupid little triangles coming out like this? It doesn't make any sense. Listen, okay, I know Nike is still releasing disaster classes here or there. I promise you, once we get to Adidas, things will get better. I promise. Ireland are in the World Cup, and they have a very clean green shirt, and also they'll be debuting their brand new badge, which honestly, I kind of prefer over the other one. In terms of the shirt itself, it's pretty neat. Love the little touches of white and orange pinstripes here or there. I also love when shirts have multiple different colored stripes on their collars and sleeves. This one's no exception. It's got a thicker white collar, and in the middle you have a green and orange stripe. So far, as we've seen in the past, throughout many years now, it seems like anything non-Nike or non-Adidas just always seems to hit. And this one is easily one of them.
Now, I'm not really sure why I left out Ireland's away shirt. I just completely forgot to grade this one. And maybe because it's just kind of boring. This looks more fit for a rugby team than it does a football team.
Nigeria home. On one hand, I really like what they did with the sleeves, kind of similar to what they did with New Zealand. It looks like a pixelated version of 2018's pattern almost. It's a very bright shade of green as well. I think the last time I've seen this kind of shade was like 2002. But outside of that, it feels like Nike kind of bottled this one as well. Like, you have a whole green canvas here and it's just plain. And then of course you have the stupid so I can't really find like a better picture of the away shirts, but the pattern is apparently inspired by traditional prints. Thank you, footy headlines. That really helps me out there. I don't know. I don't really dig it. Just kind of like the home shirt. It just feels like something's missing here. I will say, though, it looks better than the home shirts. Refreshing. Canada have actually provided their players with a new shirt for a World Cup. Great to see that the women will have a different shirt for when they actually play in the World Cup. Maybe next time the Federation can think of, I don't know, paying them. I've always loved when the maple leaf has been incorporated into anything Canadian in terms of sports, like Toronto FC a couple years back. Canada usually, if it's not the men's team. This one's like the coolest rendition of like the maple leaf pattern though. You have a couple dark maple leaves in the shirt that have been formed by these different geometrical patterns. Overall, I really love how they've kind of transcended the geometrical pattern by giving it these little different gradients and shades of red. Me personally, I think so far this is the best shirt that we've seen. Nike, what the fuck? We go into Group C, and the first one is Spain, who are using the same home shirt as the men's team this year. So with that, I've already graded this shirt before. I'll just go look back to what I actually graded it last time and just place it here. Now, the away shirt, and this is where I was promising you guys that it does indeed get better. Adidas hit with a lot of their away shirts this year, and this is one of them. Spain went a very creative direction and went for like a coral reef, like underwater pattern on parts of the shirt. And I remember it was this similar color that they used for their away shirt in the men's World Cup, but it just didn't look right. It just looked bland. But this, I mean, it's just a very creative way to make something look so much better. So massive props to Adidas for this one. This is a banger.
Zambia changed their shirts after this recording as well. Home shirts, orange base, interesting approach to the stripe down one side. I do like the away shirt more. I feel like if you made that stripe a little bigger, it would have looked even better. Maybe also they could have incorporated what they had on their last shirt where the sleeves and trim had some color as well. Because if they did that, I'd honestly put this at like a high B, low A.
Costa Rica's next, and if you didn't know, they actually moved from New Balance to Adidas this year. They joined a couple other teams that do so, including Italy, and for some reason, Kuwait. The problem that I've always had though with these smaller nations joining arms with like the bigger companies like Nike and Adidas is the fact that they kind of fall down the prioritization list. And because of that, you kind of get stuff like this. I mean, it's nothing special. It's just a red shirt with like a blue collar and that's about it. Like, I don't know. I guess I'll give the away shirt a little more credits. I kind of like the colors we have here. It just looks like a Spezia shirt, to be fair though. Quite like Spain, Japan are also going to be using the same shirt as the men's from last year. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining one bit. I have one like in this little rack here. Japan's away shirt, once again, just like Spain's away shirt, very creative. You have this very interesting color palette where all the colors kind of blend into each other. And it's like that because it actually takes inspiration from the sunsets over Mount Fuji. Initially, when I first saw this shirt, it didn't really pop out to me. I felt like it was maybe a little bit of a mess. Maybe there were too many colors going around. But over time, it has definitely grown on me. And at this point, I mean, it just screams beautiful. On to Group D, where we start with England's home shirts. And I've already said my opinions on this exact same template. But the away shirt though, thank God, Nike's actually created something good here. The base of the shirt has this very interesting geometric pattern, almost kind of has like a 90s vibe to it. And also fittingly, it has the colors of England's shirt back in the 90s.
Next there's Haiti, or Haiti. Before I go into this though, just a quick little story. So last Saturday there were actually 2 Gold Cup matches in Charlotte, USA Trinidad and Haiti Honduras. And for one night only, I decided to become a Haitian nationalist. Anyways though, back to the actual shirts themselves. The home looks really nice. It's pretty simple, but it also has this really interesting subtle pattern on the base of the shirt. You have these little accents of red, and then also on the trim of the sleeves, there's like this dark blue color, which I think really just adds to the depth of the shirt. The away shirt is okay. I do like the attempts at least making the white shirt look less plain. You still have that subtle pattern, which is great, but also you have the stripes down the shoulders, which have like this gradient effect.
Denmark's home shirts are really nice. All over the home shirt has these differing patterns on the base, which is supposedly inspired by pop art. When I look at the shirt, at least, you know those like club shirts where it takes like pieces of old shirts from back then and puts it all together to make like one shirt? and they always look like abominations. The home shirt and also the away shirt for Denmark pretty much look like that if, I don't know, someone actually took the time and effort to put all these patterns together to make them look actually good. Humo decided to use the pop art design though, because back then pop art wasn't really taken that seriously. But now today it can be found in any renowned museum, and that pretty much reflects how women's football has come a long way in the last few years. So in the words of Humo and the Danish Federation, this was a way to pay tribute to the women for the heroes they are. I really do love this pop art design that they've gone for. It's just very creative. And of course you have the little bursts of white pop art that really pop out. The away shirt, I'm not as big of a fan because it just feels like not as much of it is visible to the naked eye. And also the red, I don't know, it just doesn't really like hit me like the white on the home shirt. Next we have China, and no, I'm not talking about the citizenship merchants or Brazil B, I mean the women's team.
The home shirt is inspired by the Xiangyun symbol, a traditional Chinese stylized cloud associated with good luck and good fortune. Honestly, props to Nike, for once. It's a really good looking shirt. I think they incorporated that cloud effect well. And even if you don't know the inspiration, which will be like 85% of people watching this World Cup, it's still a really good looking shirt. I also love how they kept it simple with the collars and the sleeves. It's just yellow rings, and I think they couldn't have done it any better. Now with all that praise, let's go look at the away shirt. Okay, alright. At least they kept the same colors, unlike the last away shirt for whatever reason. Out of all the stupid little triangle templates, I'll say this is probably one that I favor a little more.
You know when you're like a kid and like you use like a paintbrush, the intrusive thoughts win that one time you just like spray the wall? That's pretty much what I see here. Next we have the away shirt, and I know some people when this first was released said, oh yeah, this is really good. No, it isn't. You're lying to yourself. It's gonna be really hard to refrain from being biased on this one, I can't lie. So Grand Sport is actually responsible for a couple of Southeast Asian nations' jerseys, Vietnam included, and every single time they just hit because Grand Sport actually respects our cultures. This is probably my least favorite version of the home shirt, but that being said, it's still very solid. I still really like the base where it's got like this diamond pattern, you have like mini diamonds with stars in them, and the touches of gold. Mwah. Next we have the away shirt, and I have been spreading the knowledge of this one like propaganda. This one is so magnificent. I love the marble pattern. The color is such a great touch on this one. Do I think this is the best of the bunch? No. But I do believe it's up there.
The Dutch home shirt it's okay. I don't know what it has been with Nike in the Netherlands. They used to make some pretty nice shirts, but they've just taken a shirt, thrown some orange on it, and called it a day lately. So yeah, it's not really that impressive to me.
Netherlands away shirt looks much better. It uses the flag colors this time with the blue, white, and red. I'm not sure what the pattern is on that shirt, but I'm kind of digging it. Portugal luckily changed their home shirt from last year to something not that great, but it's a lot better than whatever the hell 2022 was. Portugal is away, also another improvement from the health bar shirt. This one I actually kind of like. It's similar to the US's home shirt, but there's more color on this one with the green and red obviously for Portugal. Also, I just think it's one of those shirts that'll look a lot better in person. Into Group F, we have France, and their home shirts, yeah, classic Nike. I like the away shirt a lot more though. The pattern on the white base is pretty neat. Also, you see the same thing that Nike have done with New Zealand and Nigeria with France with those dark blue sleeves and the little like splotches of white and red here. So initially when I saw the Jamaican home shirt, I wasn't like the biggest fan of it, probably because I had a lot more expectations for it once they moved to Adidas. But the more I look at it, the more it just looks like a very classy shirt. Jamaica's away shirt, I don't know about this one, man. Like, it's a neat color. You never see brown, so it's refreshing, I guess. But the colors that clash with it, like the red and green, I don't know. It just doesn't really work for me here. Brazil's home shirt, it looks like is going to be the same thing from 2022, and if that's the case, here's the grade I had for it last time. Brazil's away shirt is slightly different from 2022's version. Instead of that feather pattern that you saw, this time it's like tropical leaves. And honestly, for some reason, I just dig it more. Panama's next with their Reebok shirts, and this is like something I'd see in like 2009. The away shirt's just the same exact thing, but honestly worse. Sweden up next, and while I've never been the biggest fan of like those badges in the middle type shirts, this one I like a little more than the other ones. Away shirt though, much better. IKEA Land definitely delivered here. I don't know why, but this kind of bubble design with the graffiti type strokes. I really like it. I think just in general, the colors really fit with it. Apparently though, the pattern is a recreation of an image of air bubbles trapped beneath a frozen surface. Definitely a very interesting way at approaching inspiration for a national team shirt, but it works really well here. South Africa, and luckily for you, it's not made by Puma, which is definitely something I didn't think I'd be saying about 2 years ago. But South Africa's home shirts, I really like the way they incorporated the flag, but it's not like they just slapped a flag on it and it's just like different shades of yellow that create it. There's actually some very interesting patterns within the flag design itself, which I really like. It just adds another dimension here. Then you have the away shirt, which is not as impressive for me. I still like it. I do like the base pattern that they have here. Unlike the men, the Italian women qualified for the World Cup, so they'll be able to use their brand new Adidas shirts, just like a jersey that I spoke about in the past. Initially, this one just didn't really speak to me, but over time, the aesthetics start to really sneak into your brain and you really truly appreciate this shirt. Really love the subtle pattern on the blue base here. Kind of reflects the beautiful ocean views that you'll see in some cities in Italy. And one thing I really also love is the font. I don't know why, but it really just fits the aesthetic. And don't forget about those touches of gold. I'm a fool when it comes to touches of gold, and this just does it really well. Hey guys, it's a new day. Doesn't look like it, but trust me, it's a new day. Quick update, I don't know if it was the video that did this, but my throat's been kind of acting a little weirdly as of late. I fly to London in about 7 hours, so that's fun. Anyways though, back to what we were doing. We left off on... Hi, Annie. Next is the Italy away shirt. Some people like it, others don't. I'm probably in the crowd that doesn't really like it. Just kind of reminds me of the strawberry ice cream, marble effect, or average night in London shirt that Arsenal used a couple years ago. Argentina's home shirt is pretty much the same thing as the men's shirt, so here's the grade. Then there's Argentina's away shirt, no stranger to the crazy approaches Adidas has been going with. This shirt in particular is inspired by the landscapes from the Serrania de Hornacao in the north to the Ushuaia in the south. And you can definitely see that within the different textures this shirt provides. I believe the bottom of the shirt is the Ushuaia, it only makes sense, it's supposedly the south. While on the upper half of the shirt, you can kind of see the jagged pattern of the Serrania de Hornacao. It's a really thoughtful shirt, and honestly, the colors are very unique too. You got this like midnight blue base, and then you actually have like orange on one side of the shirt, and then like a sky blue on the other. It's a really, really unique shirt, and kind of just opens up a different dimension when it comes to showing off landscapes, because we kind of saw that with how Switzerland did their shirt back in like 2020, but this just takes it to another level. I think you could probably guess what the Germany home shirt is. Yeah. Then we have the away shirt, and I think this is probably my favorite of the whole bunch. Just like the Argentinian shirt, there's a very similar approach here. Germany's shirt is inspired by the various deep green woodland areas found within the country. And when you think of Germany, you never really hear about their forests, at least I don't, but it actually covers about a third of the country. So it's really cool to kind of see a different type of representation of Germany. But when you look at this shirt, just everything is a massive hit. You have this beautiful canvas of these different shades of dark green, little touches of turquoise here or there to brighten it up, maybe to show off like the sun shining through the forest. And then just to top all that, you have a thick black collar, thick sleeves, and these touches of gold. It's just wonderful.
All right, one more. Morocco. The home shirt looks like a generic training kit, and I guess they're just going to use the away shirt from last year, which, you know, I've been very critical about the Puma away shirts of 2022 in the past, but this one's the exception. I'm okay with it.
Adidas made Colombia's home shirts, and it is pretty much just a highlighter. But don't worry, because the Colombian away shirt is a masterpiece. What you see here is a very colorful shirt, a lot of different shades of purple, and a texture that looks like a flowing river. And why is that? Because it actually represents Colombia's famous river, the Caño Cristales River, which is known to be a very colorful river. This shirt does such a good job to like blend in these different shades of purple to make this river effect. Seeing these types of shirts truly gives me hope that we can actually have some proper shirts that celebrate countries' cultures, their landscapes at a World Cup, because that's how it's supposed to be. This is an A+, easily. And to finally end off this video, we have a Nike shirt. They straight up took like one of the most beautiful looking South Korean home shirts and a wonderful cultural away shirt and turned it into this generic bullshit. I'm so bewildered. Why did they change it? They could have just kept the same designs. They didn't need to create something else if it was going to be that fucking lazy. But those were all the 2023 Women's World Cup shirts, and I told you it was definitely much better than World Cup 2022. Did we have some duds? Absolutely. But did we have plenty of very unique looking bangers? Yes, we did. Seeing some of the shirts that we've graded today has definitely given me more hope for the future. But I know for a fact Nike is going to drop those expectations down once again once they release another set of male kits. And of course Puma is going to do some shit like one of these shirts or something, I don't know. But of course, a massive shout out to all our patrons, including Janos Balas, Chris Damasceno, Miliue009, Thomas, Aldipu, Alex Rod, Alta, Amin Suamez, Aresan, Carl Zanaya, Daniel Ortiz, Francisco Hernandez, Guy, Joao Carvalho, Jonah, Marco Fujimoto, Miguel Munoz, Return Fire, Rory Burns, Saw, Slider Kit, Snifferx, The Motor Drive, Tomicus, Vanilla Mexican 17, Victor, Bubble, Chris Visconsi, Q Snatty Champs 2022, Dominic Griffin, Emmett Shea, Lewis, Joe Paricio, Michael Nista, MX Weeb, Niche, Patrick Barley, and Unbroken Persona. If you'd like to join the Patreon, there'll be a link down below and up in the annotations. You can follow me on Twitter if you want, follow my Instagram if you like, follow my TikTok, trying to get to 20,000 there, and, you know, you can follow my Twitch. But, you know, until then, I'll see you guys.